If you're in your 60s, 70s, or even your 80s and intimacy has quietly faded from your life, then what I'm about to tell you may shock you. It's not just about sex, it's about your brain, your body, your identity, and even how many years you still have ahead of you. My name is Dr. Helen Carter, and for over 30 years, I've walked alongside older adults, people just like you, through the often unspoken journey of aging and intimacy. And here's the truth no one else is telling you. When intimacy disappears, something begins to die, not just between two people, but inside of you. You might think, that part of life is over for me, or I'm too old, my body's changed, it's not important anymore. But let me tell you about someone, Marvin, a retired train engineer, 75 years old. He didn't come to me for sex advice. He came because he felt invisible. He said, "Doc, I used to feel alive. Now I just feel like I'm fading." No major illness, no dementia, but something was missing. And it wasn't just hormones. It was connection. Touch. The spark of being seen, wanted, loved. Not as a patient or a parent, but as a person. That feeling doesn't disappear with age, it just gets buried. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to bring it back. We'll talk about the real physical risks of losing intimacy and the powerful natural ways to heal. Because whether it's been months, years, or even decades, you are not done. Your story isn't over, and the next chapter could be the most alive, the most connected, the most beautiful one yet. Let's begin. When intimacy quietly disappears from your life, it doesn't start with your body, it starts with your mind. You may not even notice it at first. A name slips away. You lose track of what you were saying mid-sentence. The television feels a little too loud, not because of your ears, but because your mind can't concentrate. That's exactly what happened to Thomas. He was 71, a retired librarian. He came into my office worried he was starting to lose it. No diagnosis, no dementia, just a quiet fear that his mind wasn't as sharp as it used to be. After several honest conversations, we uncovered something he hadn't told anyone, not even his daughter. Since his wife passed away 4 years ago, he hadn't been touched. Not once. No hugs, no kisses, no affection, no intimacy. And while most people would shrug and say, well, that's just aging, science and experience tell us a different story. You see, sexual connection isn't just about pleasure. It's about stimulation. When you're intimate with someone, even through gentle touch or emotional closeness, your brain receives powerful signals: increased blood flow, dopamine release, oxytocin, endorphins. These are the chemicals that help you think clearly, feel joy, and stay mentally engaged with the world. But when that connection is gone for months or even years, the brain begins to slow, not dramatically, not overnight, but slowly, like a light dimming in the background. Focus slips, mood dips, social energy fades, and you may stop doing things you once loved, not because you don't care, but because something in you is shutting down. For older adults, this becomes a silent epidemic. It's not just about memory or language, it's about motivation, identity, and feeling like you still belong in a world that sees you as past your prime. And here's the most painful part. People rarely talk about it. They blame the aging process. They accept forgetfulness as inevitable. But the truth is, it might not be aging, it might be loneliness. The brain was built for connection. It thrives on emotional and physical intimacy. When it loses those inputs, it begins to reorganize around isolation, and that's when real damage sets in. The good news, it's not too late. Just like muscles respond to exercise, your brain responds to affection, to touch, to joy, to human closeness. You don't need perfect performance, you just need presence. Even holding someone's hand, even whispering, "I miss you," even daring to say how lonely you feel. Those acts send a signal to your brain, "I'm still here, I still matter." And that, more than any pill, is where healing truly begins. The mind may be the first to signal something's missing, but the body never stays silent for long. After all, intimacy doesn't just feed your spirit, it supports your circulation, your hormonal balance, your mobility, and even your ability to sleep, move, and feel strong in your own skin. Let me tell you about Linda and Charles, both in their late 60s, married for over 4 decades. "We still love each other deeply," Linda said, "but we've just stopped being physical. It feels like that part of our marriage has quietly ended." Charles sat beside her, nodding. He didn't look unwell, but he admitted something many older men won't. "I'm tired all the time. I've lost muscle. I'm gaining weight. And honestly, I don't feel like me anymore." After some gentle conversation, the connection became clear. Their intimacy had faded quietly years ago, not because of conflict, but because of assumptions. "We're too old for that. It's not important anymore. Maybe this is just what aging feels like." But here's the truth. It wasn't just age. When sexual activity declines, especially after 60, the body begins to lose its rhythm. Blood vessels stiffen, circulation slows, oxygen delivery to the heart and brain becomes less efficient. Why? Because sexual arousal, even mild, stimulates blood flow, increases heart rate, and acts as a natural form of cardiovascular exercise. And perhaps even more impactful, the hormonal changes. In men, reduced sexual stimulation causes testosterone to drop, which leads to fatigue, weight gain, low motivation, and even mild depression. In women, declining intimacy can lower estrogen and oxytocin. That increases the risk of joint pain, hot flashes, mood swings, even bone loss. These changes don't happen all at once. One day you skip your morning walk. The next, you sleep a little worse. You start turning down invitations. You assume your body is just slowing down. But many of these shifts aren't inevitable. They're often linked to disconnection. And here's something most people don't realize. You don't need intercourse to restore the benefits of intimacy. Gentle touch, skin-on-skin contact, holding hands, eye contact, emotional closeness. All of these activate the same pathways, stimulating hormones, improving circulation, calming the nervous system. It's not about pressure. It's not about performance. It's about presence, being seen, being felt, being real with one another again. And as we'll see in the next part of this journey, it's not just your body that suffers when intimacy fades. It's your relationship, even your sense of worth. But the beautiful truth is this: the body responds fast to love. A single act of tenderness at any age can trigger healing that no medicine ever could. So if your body has been feeling older lately, maybe it's not aging, maybe it's simply waiting to feel alive again. The body may show the signs of disconnection, but the heart breaks in silence. Many couples grow older side by side, sharing meals, sharing routines, sharing life. But somewhere along the way, something gets lost. Not loudly, not in anger, just quietly. That's what I saw in Margaret and David, married 48 years. David had survived prostate cancer, And after months of treatment, intimacy simply stopped. During a visit, Margaret looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said, "I'm proud of him. I love him. But I miss being touched. I miss feeling like someone's partner, not just their caregiver." That kind of quiet distance, emotional, physical, unspoken, can slowly unravel even the strongest relationships. When affection disappears, so does the tiny, everyday magic. The hand on your back, the kiss before bed, the sense that someone still sees you as someone worth desiring. Without those moments, partners stop reaching, they stop initiating, they stop believing they are still wanted. And what's left is a strange kind of loneliness. Not the loneliness of being alone, but the pain of being unseen while sharing a bed with someone who once knew you better than anyone. Over time, that silence grows heavy. One partner feels rejected, the other feels guilty, and no one says anything. They adjust, they cope, and before they know it, they're living like roommates instead of lovers. But this isn't just a couple's problem. If you're single, divorced, or widowed, you may carry an even deeper fear that this part of your life is over, that you're no longer desirable, that no one will ever want to touch you again. But I need you to hear this clearly. Desire does not expire, and your worth, it was never tied to a number on your birth certificate. Whether it's with a partner, a close friend, or simply reconnecting with yourself, you still deserve tenderness. The erosion of self-worth caused by physical disconnection may not show up in blood tests, but it shows up in how you move through your day. It affects your confidence, your energy, even your willingness to take care of yourself. But just like a cold room warms with a single flame, a hardened heart can soften with a single moment of connection, a touch, a glance, a whispered, "I still see you." And while it may feel scary to take the first step, to ask, to admit, to reach out, that first step is everything, because what comes next might just save your relationship, or your spirit, or both. Emotional distance hurts, but physical disconnection, it doesn't just dim the light inside you, it can also quietly shorten your life. That may sound dramatic, but it's backed by science, and I've seen it unfold with my own eyes. One of my longtime patients, Robert, was 81 when I met him. Sharp, witty, full of life. During our visit, I asked him what kept him so energized. He smiled and said, "I flirt with my wife every morning, we hold each other every night, and yes, sometimes we still make love." It wasn't about performance or youth, it was about connection, and research agrees with Robert. Studies, including one published in the British Medical Journal, have shown that older adults who maintain regular sexual intimacy experience lower mortality rates, better heart health, and stronger immune function. Why? Because affection and arousal activate key hormones, oxytocin, endorphins, serotonin. They reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, protect against disease. Physical closeness also helps regulate cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. Without regular intimacy, cortisol stays elevated, leading to chronic inflammation, insomnia, high blood pressure, and weakened immunity. This isn't just about what's happening in your heart emotionally, it's about what's happening in your heart literally. When connection disappears, the entire body shifts into a low-grade survival mode. You sleep lighter, you worry more, you move less, you socialize less, and slowly you begin to shrink, not just in strength, but in spirit. And here's the danger. Most people accept this decline as normal aging. But what if it's not aging at all? What if it's the result of disconnection? Your body was never meant to live without affection. It's built to thrive on closeness, on shared laughter, tender touches, the warmth of skin beside you, whether that comes from a loving partner, a trusted companion, or a moment of sincere physical care. It matters. Intimacy isn't a luxury. It's not a leftover from your younger years. It is nourishment. Like water, like movement, like sleep. And when you're deprived of it, the consequences show up, not just in how you feel, but in how long you live. The good news, you can begin again. Time and time again, I've seen it. People in their 60s, 70s, even 90s can reignite the spark, not because they're chasing youth, but because they're choosing life. So if you felt your body slow, your energy fade, your days grow shorter than they used to be, don't accept that as the end. Because in the next section, you'll discover the most powerful truth of all. It's never too late to start again. If you've made it this far, thank you. Not just for listening, but for being open, because this conversation isn't easy. Talking about intimacy at this stage of life can stir up embarrassment, grief, even shame. But here's the truth I want you to carry. You are not done. Your story isn't over. Your body hasn't expired. Your heart still wants to be seen, to be touched, to be held, and to hold someone in return. And no matter how long it's been, that part of you can awaken again. Let me tell you about Eleanor, 78 years old. She walked into my office polished and graceful, but her voice trembled as she said, "I don't want to be seen as just a grandmother or a patient. I miss feeling like a woman." It had been nearly 10 years since she'd experienced any physical closeness, not because she didn't want it, but because she had convinced herself that part of life was behind her. What Eleanor didn't know, what so many don't know, is that the human spirit has an incredible ability to reawaken. Desire changes, yes. The body changes too, but the capacity for love, for connection, for intimacy, that never leaves you. So where do you start? Not with a big performance, not with pressure, but with a tiny act of courage. Maybe it's looking your partner in the eyes and saying, "I miss us." Maybe it's reaching out and holding someone's hand. Maybe it's opening yourself to love again, even if it's been years. And if you're single, widowed, or feeling completely alone, let me be clear, this message is for you too. Reconnection can start with yourself. Take a warm bath. Journal your desires, even if you've kept them silent for years. Join a community. Say yes to new friendships, because intimacy isn't just about sex. It's about presence, trust, touch, laughter, softness, and being truly seen. And yes, it may feel awkward at first, but every person I've seen walk this journey has come out lighter, brighter, more alive, and more than anything, they start to feel like themselves again. So I ask you now, if one small moment could bring back your vitality, if one gentle gesture could reopen a door you thought was locked forever, what would stop you from taking it? This is not about pretending you're young again, it's about reclaiming what still belongs to you. Because joy, connection, love, they are not reserved for the young. They are for the brave, for the curious, for the ones willing to believe that something beautiful could still be waiting. So take that first step. Maybe it's a word, maybe it's a touch, maybe it's letting go of guilt or shame or fear. Whatever it is, take it, because your best chapter may not be behind you, it may be just beginning.